not similar, but when I lost my dad, I was, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Um, but I wanted to, I needed to be at the racetrack because that's where all the people I knew were, and I didn't want to be alone, And so I didn't experience what you did, losing a friend. And so tell me, I guess, about tell me about the processing of emotion. You've fallen out of love with racing, and now you've got to figure out whether you want to continue, and how do you get that love back, that passion back?
Um, First of all, I think, by the way you handled that with losing your dad, I was in the US by that point, and I was in awe. I was absolutely in awe of what you did and how you did it, and the pressures you were under. And it was something to watch from a distance, something so impressive. So, hats off to you, man.
Appreciate that.
Um, so with Greg, it was yeah, I just, the first time that had really happened is this to death in the sport, and my it was my best friend, and I just thought, I I I I don't not sure I want to do it. I don't think I've got the love for it anymore. I think a telling sign is I have one Indy car in my garage at home, and it's the car from the race before he died. That was honestly the last time it was just properly fun. It was absolutely just for the love of driving, right? Life was different after he died. Then so Barry Green, this conversation with Barry Green went something like, Barry, I don't know if I can do this. I need to go, and I need to go think about this if I want to do it. And at the time, those cars were really dangerous. I mean, they were were getting hurt a lot, all that sort of stuff. And so I went away, and I went away for a few months, and Barry said, just when you're ready, just come back. And then we had a conversation. He's like, look, spring training's coming here. You need to get in the car if you're going to do it. So I got in the car. I had the suspension failure. Literally the next time I got in the car, suspension failure, hit the wall, broke my pelvis, smashed my head in. And from that point, I did the race about 3 weeks later with a broken pelvis, which I don't recommend. Um,
My gosh.
oh man, when they dropped the thing off the jacks, and it hit the floor, not good.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that hurt. So, and honestly, Dale, for a long time, I lost the love of the sport, and I did it because I didn't know anything else to do.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder, with that injury and everything, how comfortable would have you been to have said, let me take a step back here. I need some time, to heal, and that gives your time. Maybe you're, personally taking some time off to heal, but you're also giving yourself some time to get your mental, emotions, get it figured out, really what you want to do. I mean, if you leave that seat, do you have it when you come back?
That's a difficult question, right? And
Yeah.
that's why drivers get in with all bits hanging off. I drove with a broken back in 2003 because I didn't want, I was out of the car for a few races. I didn't want somebody else taking my ride. So,
Yeah.
in hindsight, and what we know now and what we've gone through with some of the head injury stuff and how it's treated now, it's a lot different than it was 25 years ago. So, I probably should have done that, but I didn't. I just kept charging on, and it took a long time. It probably took 5 or 6 years to sort of feel somewhat like my old self.
Yeah.
And then the sort of the success started coming again. And the fun of driving came a bit back, and actually just the joy in life was coming back too. So that was kind of that. It,
Yeah.
it just took time.
Yeah. I imagine you didn't know it at the time, but I bet the head injury, that it's hard to explain to people that have never went through this, but you mentioned it, you didn't feel like yourself, and maybe that's also playing with your anxieties, emotions, and all those things unknowingly, right? You don't even realize it's affecting you. Um, I've talked to drivers, we both went through head injuries, but I've also talked to other drivers that drove through those type of injuries, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I was 6 months. I wasn't who I know I am," and with having such a severe injury in 2000, I imagine that might have been playing a role, I guess, in your physical or your mental state.
Oh, massively,
Yeah.
massively. And I said to my brother, I thought years later, because at the time you don't want to sort of admit all this stuff, but I said
No.
to him,
Yeah.
I said, it changed my personality.
Yeah.
I became a lot more serious, and yeah, it's and it's just part of sort of the stuff you got to deal with. But because you've not got a broken arm or
You
a
can't.
broken
Yeah.
leg, or nobody knows, you look normal.
No. I know. I would tell. So, you know, I look completely fine, but I would stand up and turn and to walk out a door, and I would have to grab the table, or I felt it, right. Any kind of a pivot or a movement of the axis of the head, I knew that something was wrong, and I would say to my friend, "Man, did you see anything? I felt this. I felt it. Did you see me kind of lose my balance?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, you look normal. Didn't see anything." And I'm like, it's so frustrating because everybody's looking at you and they're like, "You should be in the car. You look perfectly
Mhm.
fine. You should. Why aren't you in the car? Why are you not in the car? Why are you out a month, 2 months, whatever?"
Come on, man, toughen up. Let's
Right.
go.